It's bad. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It is kind of legitimately concerning how much this does not look like a Green Lantern show, and I'm just really worried about it. Today we are talking about the controversial new Lanterns trailer released by DC a couple days ago, and it is definitely stirring up the internet. You got the average people on both sides, the gun glazers and the Snyder fans going at it. You know, people calling each other on each side's grifters, you know, say their arguments are valid because you believe this or you like this, so you're automatically this, you know. Yeah, it's just one big mess, and I'm here to give you my objective thoughts, which may lean on one side according to your own perspective, but legitimately, these are my own thoughts, and, well, you can't call me a grifter because I'm not getting paid! Let's talk about this trailer. In general, not a bad trailer. Like, this is actually really intriguing. It makes me want to learn more about this series, and in fact, that's what trailers should do. And before you say it's actually a teaser, BS, because, well, that thing's 2.5 minutes long. There's no way any sort of teaser should be that length, so I am automatically calling it a trailer. I do like the casting here. I think the guy who they got to play Hal Jordan is a bit too old, which I wish they'd go younger, maybe in his 40s instead of him being like 55 to 60 years old. Jon Stewart, he looks great, at the very least. Jon Stewart looks good. Now let's get into that sweet, sweet controversy. What am I worried about? Well, it is in fact the absence of green here. I know a lot of people are going to be like, there's green here, there's green there. And even the HBO Max Twitter account even joked about that as well. That annoyed me just a bit. But mainly here, I'm talking about the suit. And I think that's pretty much everyone's biggest worry with this thing is the fact that the suit looks a bit weird. And obviously there's a couple of other aspects of the trailer, like the fact that it seems to be really grounded, although I'm willing to excuse that because this seems to be like the first or second episode of the series that they're showing off here, and I think to start out on Earth and then go to the Galactus stuff, perfectly fine. That's all I'm going to talk about in regards to that. But the suit! You can put this thing in Photoshop in like 2 minutes, you'll have an instantly better design because you made it green. In fact, I made my own little thing just by drawing it out. I don't think it looks the best generally, but I do think it is in fact a better design, at least from what we've seen from the neck to the mid-abdomen, you know? I think it's already a legitimately better design. I'm not going to say I'm better than the people who are getting paid thousands of dollars to do this, but screw it, I'll say that I am better than them. So why is this suit physical? Like, I know that was a thing in the Silver Age, but guess what, guys? The Silver Age was 60 years ago. I think it's time we give it up. If you want to do a physical suit, that's fine, but I think there needs to be a time and place for it, and especially with the modern DCU, what they want to go with now, especially with like Guy Gardner and Superman, I just don't think that's something they should do. And obviously, I think Guy Gardner's suit was physical, I believe, like actually in-universe physical and not made by The Ring. But even then, that thing still looked kind of off too. They should have just made it the construct of The Ring. I don't know if they want to do something different here. Obviously, there have been a couple excuses, like maybe this is an old pilot's uniform that The Ring turned into the Green Lantern suit. Maybe there's something infecting the suit that I forgot the name of, but it's something from the comics, which could be an interesting storyline, especially with how old Hal Jordan is here. I legitimately think that because they wanted to go with more grounded approach, they thought, okay, let's do physical suits. And that's fine, really, if you want to do that. But again, time and place, and this is, especially with the context of James Gunn's DCU, this isn't the time nor place. Especially with Superman, it kind of felt like he wanted things to be as comic booky as possible, especially now with the trailer for Lanterns. I just don't see that being something he can synchronize throughout the entire series. I also do kind of think that this is overcorrecting from the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie. All of that suit was CGI. I don't think there was a real part of that costume whatsoever. Other than that, I can really see no reason why they didn't just do a suit that's a construct of The Ring. And I'm sure with a bunch of these things that I'm mentioning here, it'll probably get explained within the show itself. We just have to wait for another trailer or just for the show to come out, but I don't want to wait that long, and this is still just kind of annoying me just a bit. Now let's talk about the approach here. Obviously very grounded. I don't even think we see anything green in terms of energy from The Ring at all. Even we see Hal Jordan fly away, no green aura around him or anything like there usually is when he flies around. A lot of this is an adaptation of the Earth 1 Green Lantern, and well, a lot of people have been saying that's what the suit is based off of as well. You cannot convince me that these are the same suit. Maybe a couple of aspects like the shoulders, maybe the placement of some of the padding on the chest, but beyond that, can you really see a lot of detail on this thing for you to make a full-on adaptation? In fact, I think that suit looks great, but you want to know what the one thing that they changed from it that just ruins the entire thing now? The fact that it was only green and black! Just kind of sucks, the fact that this is Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart's first introduction into the DCU, and they're not taking the whole really comic booky approach to pretty much anything. They really want to set it in reality, more so like what the CW did, which is actually a really good comparison because that's kind of what the suit looks like. Well, no, that's not even true too, because the CW would make it a lot more comic accurate. But don't worry, I'm still totally hopeful for this show. I do think it's going to be really good. I do trust the creative team. They've just made decisions that, at least right now, don't make any sense whatsoever. Hopefully, within the show, they'll get explained away and we can forget about them. People can actually like the show. Kind of similar to what happened with Superman. But, just right now, I just legitimately do not see that happening. And I'm sure this video is going to get written off as, oh, it's just like a Snyder cultist or something like that. Now, keep in mind, I've never seen a Zack Snyder movie, so you can't call me that. Gun glazers, I like to call them, mostly because I think they're just so used to like having to put up with Zack Snyder fans that they just legitimately build up so much the fact that they cannot accept criticism whatsoever of the project made under James Gunn's DCU because they're just like, it's almost within their nature now to kind of just go and defend it, even if it's something actually worth criticism. Some of them, like especially on social media, they're just being like really annoying about it, like a bunch of forced hate, you know, it's like, it's all made up, it's just a bunch of grifters. Like, I just legitimately do not think that's good for argument, especially if it's such a large majority of people who are staunchly against what they're doing with this, including myself, too. Now, don't get me wrong. I like James Gunn. I like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I like what he did with Superman. Even if I do think that film was severely overrated, still a good film. Just very overrated. I don't know. I think there's just a bunch of people who are almost like the counter to the Zack Snyder fans, where they like blindly defend whatever James Gunn does.
Don't ask questions, just consume product and then get excited for next products.
And the Zack Snyder fans will blindly just say, restore the Snyderverse. And I just don't think that's good for argument on either side. There's a lot of people screaming, you don't read comics, or there's like, go read a comic book, buddy, or like people who actually do make good points, and then like there's just like, no, it's just a teaser. I mean, like it's just so annoying to have to deal with that kind of discourse. Like, and that's probably why I never try to engage with anything outside of Sonic discourse, because I actually know how to deal with that. And with DC stuff, I put my opinions out there. I have no clue how this video is going to go down. Unlike a Sonic Boy video where I'm like, okay, this is probably how they're going to react to it, and 9 times out of 10, that's spot on. So if you have made it this far into the video, I just hope that you like can take into consideration some of the points that people are making against this trailer, and maybe some of the points that people are making in favor of this trailer too, because there totally is a lot of good within this trailer. In fact, that's what I said in this video. So yeah, just like take a middle ground approach to it. There's definitely more for us to see, but let's not act like what we have seen so far isn't bad because it's just a teaser. All I'm gonna say is let's just wait for another trailer. If things are still bad by then it's time to really kick it into panic mode, because while we can be worried now, we still have to acknowledge it is just a teaser. That's all it is right now. I know things do look bad, but there's always the chance that it could get better. If it doesn't, that's where you can really complain. And I say this as someone who doesn't even like this trailer. I think it's good, I just don't like it, you know? I think they do a lot of stuff with the Green Lantern mythos here that just is kind of confusing right now. Maybe, like I said, it'll improve. Maybe it won't. We'll just have to wait and see. That's what my advice is. Wait and see. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I want to talk about today. Let me know what you guys thought of the Lanterns trailer down below. I know there's a lot of people that liked it, a lot of people that agree with me that don't like it, and I want to see what you guys think about the trailer, because I want to have a healthy discussion and not like, oh, this side is grifting, or oh, this side is just mindlessly glazing, you know? I want to have a legitimate discussion. I want to be like as accurate as possible about these things, and I want to just have a fun time with you guys talking about the things that we love. So let me know what you guys think about all this down in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.